Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Katie. I am a full-time sketchbook artist and I'm just going to be filming a very creative casual vlog today. So I'm going to be talking about my creative intentions and my goals for 2026, and I'll probably talk about that whilst I create. I also desperately need to clean up this studio. As you can see, I mean, most of it's behind this chair, so it doesn't look that bad, but I definitely need to do a little bit of a sort and organise, definitely need to tidy up. There's piles on the floor. I find, obviously, January is a good time to sort of reset, and I do find that naturally this is when I want to take a lay of the land and organise, but I am in quite a small space. I am obviously very privileged to have this half of this room for my stuff, but I have a lot of stuff, so I do need to sort that out in this vlog as well. But yeah, I just want this to be nice and casual. I want to share more of just my general creativity rather than proper sit-down videos this year, which is why I'm going to try and do my vlogs. I really enjoyed doing the Artist Way last year. I'm still doing my morning pages actually, but I'm not doing my artist dates, so maybe this year I'll incorporate those in. So the morning pages are definitely going strong. But yeah, I just want to focus on play and like personal creativity this year. I'm already getting into the intention, so I'll save that for now and leave this intro here. But thank you for being here. I'm excited to kind of just come to this YouTube channel this year with a bit more of casual creativity, I suppose. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if I know what I want, but I just want to not overthink. I definitely overthink things, and I've been, worried about my videos of what you want to see, what I should be filming, but I'm going to take it back to basics here. I'm just going to show you some of the stuff I create, a little bit of a day in my life, although this will probably be filmed over a couple of days, just so you can see what I get up to as a full-time sketchbook artist. Okay, I said this wouldn't be very long, so let's get on with it. And I'm going to start by doing a bit of a tidy and organisation. I'll talk you through some of my plans, and then I'll share some of my creative intentions.
When did we make it so cold? The air is too thick to breathe. I wonder when you're coming home at 4:05. Just where have you been? I can tell from your breath that you've been drinking. Lying seems so easy to you. Just wanna know what you're thinking. Nothing comes easy when it comes to you. You said you wanted to know me, but did you even try? All you do is find new ways to hurt me. You just wanna act like it's fine, but it's not alright. You just act like it's fine. Oh no, it's not alright. No, it's not alright. It's not alright. Remember all those good times? Was it all just a scene? Now all we do is put out the fires. It's not how we used to be. I can sit here and talk about the memories, but I guess that's not what you wanna do. So I just wanna know.
Okay, so over here I've got a box under there that's kind of empty, but stuff that I reach for quite a lot, like my chargers and my heated blanket plug. This is a new sketchbook that my dad gave me at Christmas, so I need to sort out the paper there. But up here, I've got a lamp on this stack of books, which I use when it gets really dark in the evenings, or when it's really dark in the morning, which is often. I've got this stack here, so I keep ending up with piles. I'm debating whether to move one of the boxes and put this on my bookshelf and then having this. So I think I'm going to do that now because I think it will help if all my books are together. These aren't necessarily ones that I reach for all the time now. They're kind of all mixed. So before, if I take you over here, these are all my books. Before, this was the only shelf. Now, the thing that I'm unsure about is because this is bowing. You can really see these are heavy books. But I want them like eye height. I don't want to move them down. And this was another one of these, which I took off because I bought too many books. And so I'm thinking of making this all books and then moving this stuff. There's journal stuff in there, so that I think I just need to have a sort out, and some of this isn't full. So I think that's my plan. I think I want all my books together. I just don't know if this is going to bow. I don't know. There is quite a lot of space behind there, which feels wasted. These are really deep shelves, so there's quite a lot of gap behind there, but there's not really... I think I have some things that I can put behind there. I just need a box. Okay, I think that's a good idea. Let's find a box. Okay, let's do that. Okay, I'm hoping this audio works. I've got some fancy little mic thing that I bought in the Black Friday sale. Okay, so I found a basket, this basket, which will fit behind, and the box that was there is very light stuff, so I don't reach for it often, so I think I'm going to put that behind and utilise the space, because it's just a waste otherwise, and I think there's like some bits that have fallen behind, so it would make more sense. So this can fit. I might need to take more books off. Okay. Yeah, that fits behind quite nicely. So I'm going to fill that with the other stuff, and then I can put books in front. I was headless, so I'm just going to crouch. But it often feels like you're making more of a mess until you're sorted. So I'm just going to have to keep piles of books around for now whilst I sort this out. Now, I probably will sort this into like categories, so like gardens and animals and birds, but for now I just need to clear my desk a little bit and feel okay about that. Now these are really heavy, so I'm just worried about it bowing. If you have any like suggestions, please let me know. Do I just not have heavy books on the shelf like this? It's only IKEA, but how do you stop things from bowing? Should I keep the heavier books to the edges? Advice is welcome. And we have a little bit of wiggle room, like a small amount if I buy more books, which I inevitably will this year. Over here now, we have a gap. Okay, so I think these are going to be like my box of things to sort. So I often have stuff that I just leave around, and I think if I have a space to put it, it will be like once a week I'll go through this box. Which again I'm not going to do today, but at least all the little bits that I don't know what I'm doing with yet can go in here, and that feels a bit more manageable. So like keeping all of the mess together. Like half-finished paintings. I need to finish this one. But yeah, that's my plan. I think that will work well. Then underneath here I can have my chargers and things. Let's see how this looks first. Oh, and my water pots I want handy as well. I don't want to clutter up the windowsill too much. That defeats the point of being organised. And then that can still go across like that. Okay, so sort all of this. I use bubble wrap to protect my windowsill when I'm putting this clamp on, so I need bubble wrap. This is just annoying, so that just pops up down there. Okay, this feels a bit better already. It's not the most aesthetic, but it is usable, so that's good. So I'm just putting my most used stuff here, so my current sketchbooks that are in use, and then like some leads, the bubble wrap that I mentioned earlier for my clamp, and my journal where I do my morning pages. Like I said, it's not necessarily super aesthetic, but I really need my studio to be functional because it is a small space and I have so much stuff. I think function over aesthetic is more important for me. I also did do cleaning around this as well, so trying to keep things nice and clean definitely makes a difference. And just having places really helps. I did have quite a lot of piles of things, so I think having that basket there as well to put in any sort of miscellaneous stuff for me to then sort will really, really help. So here's a final look at the studio. Here is it, looking much, much better than those before shots. Obviously, I still have some bits on the desk, like my pots and things, but I think moving the books over there helps. And here is my box of bits that I need to sort. So that's just helpful to have a catch-all that I know I need to take out of the room. It doesn't belong here, and sort them. Now I'm just showing you this, which is chocolates, and the reason for that will make sense in a minute because I did want to create a spread in my sketchbook documenting them. So this kind of ties in with my creative intentions, but to just run through what I'm doing here, I have put it on time lapse because it took quite a long time, but Mitch and I had some chocolates that we had on the lead up to Christmas as our advent. So there were 25 of these really lovely chocolate truffles from Chococo, and we treated ourselves and we had one a day. So it was really nice, and one of my intentions for 2026 is to do more sort of real life drawing. So this is part of it, but there's other elements to this intention too. So I do want to do more real life, not necessarily all from references. Now I had planned on doing this per day, but I just took photos per day and just did this obviously in January and caught up. But I would like to capture more of my life in my art, so not necessarily just creating from references, but also drawing from life, taking my sketchbook out and about, taking it when I've got appointments and things, or when I'm out for a walk, and really drawing in the moment. Because as much as I do love drawing from references and, just getting random things to draw from, I do want to try and find a bit more connection in my sketchbook this year. So that's my plan, and then along with that I want to do more personal art. So obviously art is my job now, and I'm really, really lucky, it's my dream job, but there is definitely it's difficult to sort of see where the line stops of personal art and where it starts for my job, because I absolutely love creating, but sometimes it does feel like that's all I can do. And where is the line between me doing this just for fun and me knowing this would make good content? So I want to do more personal art this year, more mess, more ugly art. I want to experiment a lot and create it just for me. So I will be having a private sketchbook, which I've mentioned in a previous video, but I think that would be really helpful for me to know that that's just for my eyes only. And yeah, just be a bit more open to creating art that is only for myself. So really leaning into the experimentation and maybe being able to play more freely. The other one I'd like to do this year is master studies, but with more intention. So when I've done master studies before, I've just done sort of one painting and that was that. But I'd like to do more deep dives into the artists themselves and into the why they were creating in this way, studying it myself, trying their different techniques, and then applying it to my own work. And that's more just sort of a personal thing that I want to do. Alongside obviously the personal art, like I said, I think it would just be really nice to deep dive into other artists' work and really understand their methods. So that's it for my 2026 creative intentions, and now onto the next part of the vlog. Okay, I want to share something really, really exciting now, and I'm still blown away that I can even say this, but yesterday I hit 100,000 followers on Instagram. I hit that 100k, which is absolutely wild to me. I can't believe that number. I remember hitting 35k and remembering that that was like my limit. I felt like that was that now. And then slowly it's just been gradually slow and steady up until 100k yesterday. So thank you so much if you follow me over on Instagram. And also here on YouTube, I recently hit 30k. So some really exciting milestones lately. I'm really, really grateful. I feel very lucky to have such a wonderful community and just somewhere safe that I can share my work and just know that you get it, that you understand what I'm doing, and yeah, just wild that I can sort of reach that many people with my ethos of art and, just finding joy and having fun, because that's what it's all about. So it does mean that it's time for another live stream, so I want to share it here. I'll put a YouTube community post out as well, but it will be on, I did a poll on Instagram just to check times, and you all voted for a Saturday, so it will be on, let me double check my calendar, Saturday the 24th of January at 2 p.m. GMT. I'll put this on the screen as well. But if you'd like to come live and ask any questions or draw along with me, I think we're going to be doing a landscape, then I'll be live then, but there will also be a replay which will be under the live tab. It's been a while since I've done a live stream. I think, yeah, the last one was for Sketchbook Joy, which was last March. So it's been a really long time, but it will be really nice. And I am thinking of doing another Sketchbook Joy challenge, just a 7-day one. Still trying to work that out in my head, but if you're up for that, then let me know too, because I need to kind of get on that if I am doing that. But yeah, really, really exciting. So I just want to say a big thank you here in this vlog. If you do follow me on Instagram and here on YouTube, your support is so, so appreciated. Okay, so now I want to do some playing around. So I was sent this by Jacquard International, so they are a supplier of Caran D'Ache products, and they very kindly sent me some water brush pens and 15 Fibralo brushes. So these are pens too. I'm keen to see how they compare to like my Stettler and my Tombows. So we're just going to do some swatching, do a bit of play, and draw something bright in my sketchbook. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so here are the 15 Fibralo, not sure how I'm supposed to say that, Fibralo brush pens. So these are by Caran D'Ache. There is a helpful little timeline. So I do love Caran D'Ache as a brand. We've got the Neocolor 1s, Neocolor 2s, the gouache, I use those quite a lot. And I've got some Prismalo pencils. So originated in 1915. Technograph I've never heard of. Fibralo I hadn't heard of, which is wild because that was 1966, so it must be the 60th year this year. And then Supercolor, which I have heard of, and then Pablo. And then this is the 2015 Fibralo brush pen. So Fibralo's been around for a long, long time, but not the brush. So these are the brush pens, which I'm trying out. As always, a really nice tin from Caran D'Ache, which opens up the opposite way to a book. So we've got the stickers, a little bit about Caran D'Ache. So yeah, over 100 years. And these, I mean, I always love rainbows. I don't often buy sets, but I'm excited to try these out. So as I said, these were gifted to me alongside these, which are water brushes. So there are 3 here. So we've got a large one. Let me see which one's which. This one's a large one. So a really big tip here. So these are similar to other water brushes I've tried in terms of looks. That one's quite big. Then we've got a medium one. And I just filled these up under the tap. It does say on the back that you can dip into water, but I found it better to just fill underneath the tap. So a medium. And then this one I'm really excited about. I've never seen anything like this one before. This is a, let's check what it says, fiber tip. So it is really like a brush pen. I'm really keen to see how this is because it's not bristles. It is quite thick and doesn't feel very malleable. So I don't know if this will get dirty quickly, but we're going to give it a go. So we've got those 3, which I want to work with these pens. So I use a lot of brush pens. You'll know I've got Tombows, Ecolinas, Zig brush pens, and these are brush tips. So similar, more similar I'd say to the Tombows and the Ecolinas compared to the bristled Zig real colour brush pens. But these ones are much, much smaller. So if I show you the tip here, you can see they are definitely smaller. So you can get between 0.5 and 5 mil in width. So much more precise lines. Let me compare it to a Tombow here. So yeah, very, very different there. So I want to see how juicy we can get, just how much colour I can lay down, whether these will be better for precise application. Okay, so let's swatch these out and then we will have a little play. I'm just going to be swatching these in my Venezia Fabriano sketchbook. And we'll just start by swatching them. So we'll go in order. They do have quite a big range of brush pens. So I've got a set of 15 here, but they do go up to 30. So very, very bright. These are probably a bit too bright for me to just use on their own, though I do have some bright coloured references I'll be drawing from to make the use of them. They do feel really soft actually. They're not as stiff as I expected. They do go down really nicely. Like there's a good flexibility to these. And yeah, you can definitely get thin lines and then thicker lines. Oh, that one's really juicy. I do like smudging with my pens, so they are really nice and juicy and really high pigmentation. And we've got some greens. There's no olive green in this set, although that's a nice green. And again, maybe we could add the water and sort of mix them up as well. An emerald green, brown. This one, what's this? I don't know if this is mustard. Oh yeah, okay, it's more like an ochre. I've missed one out. I missed out this one. It doesn't have the shade name on there, but there are a few numbers. So we've got like a pinky peach, then a grey. Oh, that's quite cool toned. A warm toned sort of beigey grey, and finally a black. Okay, so what I also want to do is, let's say these are too bright for me. Let's see if we can mix things up. So let's take that really bright green. See how things layer on top. Let's add in a bit of blue. Oh yeah. Okay, completely different green there, so that's nice layering. Let's do... Oh, interesting. Okay, it did keep a little bit of that pigment on as well, so that's kind of got a bit of green in. Let's layer some blue and red. So I can definitely see it's still a bit wet there. Add some red on top. Not very purple there, but let's try and add a bit of water to it. Not very purple, let's add a bit more red. Okay, yeah, we're getting a bit more mauvey, but it's not very super clean. Let's try it again with a yellow. So we'll put down my yellow and then add in a touch of red. Okay, so I think you have to be a bit quicker than I was. This has also gone into the page quite quickly, so again it depends on paper, but that's much more my kind of muted colour compared to some of the other ones. Like I said, I do want to draw some bright animals, so it's Animal Month on my Patreon, so I'm going to play around with that. I do like this sort of watery effect as well, so like I said, this is just going to be a quick review, so let's do some drawing, and there are some beautiful parrots that I want to do first. I think it will be interesting to see how to use this one, which is the fibre tipped one. It's interesting because the water usually comes through on the others. Okay, I can see some coming through. Okay, so that's wet now. What happens when I add? Okay, this is going to just be a bit of a playful experiment, I think. So let's do these parrots. Okay, so it does keep a little bit of the colour from before. I haven't put any marks down yet. Let's see how we can blend. I haven't put any sketching down. I do like that you can get quite fine lines. I can be much more accurate with these than a Tombow. But I'm also, I can lay down quite a bit of colour, but with the Tombows I can definitely lay down more because they have bigger tips. Now for the shadows, I obviously don't have a dark red, so let's add on a bit of blue. And maybe I'll use this one to blend that out. That has worked nicely for the shadow there on top. Okay, that's cool. Oh, really cool. Okay, this is interesting, but I'm thinking it's going to get kind of dirty quite quickly. But I do like that. I think this will get a lot of use from me. I've not seen anything like this before. Nice bit of that bright yellow on here. And then that's kind of fades down into the green. If I put that on top of the blue that's already there, it's making the green automatically for me. When I want to go darker, I'll add on that blue again. So you can get really quite a lot of pigment down. The subtle. So I'm using what's on my brush to work for me for really pale colours. Okay, yeah, he's coming to life for sure. I might put this rest of this on time-lapse and I'll give you my final thoughts on voiceover. Okay, so yeah, I've sped this bit up so I can give you some of my thoughts on these brush pens. They are really, really pigmented, so I was really impressed with their strong, bold colours. Obviously, those colours aren't necessarily for me, but that's kind of why I don't tend to buy multi-packs anyway. I would say they feel more like the Zig brush pens in the way that I think they'll work best as watercolour. But obviously the bristles is very different, so the firmness of the tip feels a bit more Tombow-like, but just the way that I was putting them down and their juiciness, they felt a bit more like the Zig. So I do want to play with these on a palette and then watering them down, similar to the video that I've done on the Zig brush pen, so I'll leave that linked in the cards. I think these would work really nicely in that way, and yeah, getting more of that watery effect, because I do think that the paper makes a really big difference. I don't think that this was the best sketchbook to try them in, but Obviously, I was just giving them a go, so I definitely learned a lot whilst doing this. Helpful to swatch and obviously helpful to draw with them too. I found that I really loved the fibre tip water brush pen, so I'll be using that a lot more. And yeah, I think I might use these for smaller details and more refined work, but I think for bigger blocks of colours, I'll still use my Tombos or my Ecolinas. I usually do prefer more muted shades, which you'll probably know from my work, especially as a nature artist, but I drew these birds and I think it worked really well for these parrots, just with all of their bright colours, so I hope that was helpful for you to see. It is absolutely tipping it down outside, so apologies if you can hear the rain, but I just want to round off this vlog and say a huge thank you for watching. A little bit different for me, because I do, like I said in my intentions, I want to be a bit more chill about this channel and just do the things that make me happy, and so I hope you enjoyed following me along on these couple of days in the studio, just, you know, creating a few things in my sketchbook and just keeping things low-key. I know that vlogs aren't always very popular on my channel, but I find them quite easy to film now that I do them over multiple days rather than just one big chunk. They are more to edit, but I think it's going to be a bit more sustainable for me perhaps, especially mentally, to do more vlogs this year. So hopefully you're up for that, and I hope you enjoyed this one. I always love hearing your thoughts down below, so feel free to share in the comments. Once again, thank you so much for helping me reach these milestones of 30k on YouTube and 100k on Instagram, and a big thank you for watching. I always love hearing from you, and if you're a silent watcher, a big thank you to you too. So I hope you have a lovely creative week ahead, and I will see you next Sunday in my new YouTube video, or on Saturday. Is it going to be next Saturday? Yeah, it will be. So if you can make it to the live stream, it will be next Saturday coming up on the 24th, so hopefully see you there. Otherwise, I'll see you next Sunday in my new YouTube video. See you later.